Hey, what's up? This video is for you if you are a startup founder raising $1 to $10 million. You have good traction and you're still struggling to find a lead investor or close your fundraise quickly. It is something I recorded because it's a big problem that I often hear from my clients. I think a lot more people out there have the same problem. When you're raising money from VCs, after you have a first meeting with them, lots of founders either don't hear back for a while, they feel like they're being ghosted, and they're, at some point they're getting what to them feels like a bogus pass reason, some detail that makes them think that all of these things point to the same reason. So the truth about this is when your process is stalling, when you feel you're being ghosted, it is all down to the same reason. It means the investors didn't get excited enough about you or your business. It's tough, but it's the truth. Been an investor for a long time, and it was the same if you're on the other side or if you're a founder. So since my client just raised almost $4 million and he had the exact same problem when he was starting out, I thought I'd make this video and show you one way of avoiding these traps and crushing your VC meetings. I do this with two things. First, I'm going to show you a quick mindset shift for you, and then I give you some tactical examples that you can use in your meetings. Let's get into it. So, first, the mindset shift. Something you need to understand is fundraising is a status game. Status in the psychological sense. So there is different ways of turning up to a VC meeting. The first one is deference. So as illustrated by this GIF, it is the by far the most common way that founders turn up to this meeting. And it's completely understandable because there's not that many VC firms out there. Your runway is limited. You really need the money. So naturally, we all have this tendency to accommodate the other party. That often leads to too much accommodation, though, and we cater to their every need, every request, and that actually makes us lose status. Bad outcome is that you also look more unsure of your message. You seem more unlikely to build a massive company, and you're perceived as low status or unimpressive. So in simple terms, if VCs think you need their money, they're less likely to give it. It's like so often in human nature. Another way of turning up is arrogantly. Thank God, only very, very few founders do this. So they come in guns blazing, mostly focused on themselves. It's absolutely not recommended to do this because you probably will burn some bridges and you are less likely to get a second meeting. If you do it, make sure you have amazing traction and a great business, then you can still pull it off, but not recommended. The best way to go into these meetings is with calm confidence. I don't mean like the Godfather, like in this GIF here, but it is something that most people cannot pull off naturally. They have to sort of engineer it. And this is what I'm going to show you. So it means you're friendly, but you're challenging, and you make investors conform to your process. You're running the show. The result of this, if you pull it off, is you're being perceived as high status. It means you're on eye level with them. You're an equal, which is what you are and what you should portray. Your behavior also makes up for some weaknesses of your pitch. This is very important because you, in early stage startups, people are going to invest in you mostly. So be the best version of yourself. And you're much more likely to book a second meeting. So once you understand this, that this is what you're going for, this calm confidence, how do we do this? So one way to accomplish this, which is really powerful, is questions. Not just any questions, though. It is high status questions. Questions that make you appear high status. These are tactical, and they accomplish three things. First of all, as I just said, they make you appear high status. Second, you will gather information by asking them correctly. information about the VCs, their thought process, or their decision process. And third, you are going to get the investor on your team. What this means, I'll explain in a second. But let's get into some of the examples. For example, VC meeting starts off, a bit of banter, building rapport. Then the VC launches into the intro about their firm. This is something they have said a million times, so it is a good point in time to maybe break their flow a little bit by with a challenging question. So one that I really like is, why did you decide to take this meeting? Harmless question, but it does several things. First of all, it makes the VC remember or think back why they actually took the meeting. What can they remember about the deck? So they then need to think about it, give a reason to seem intentional about taking this meeting, which generally puts them already in a positive frame of mind about your company. So they're going to say, this or that was really great about your pitch. I like that. I wanted to hear more. Good start. So again, we've appeared high status and we're starting to get the investor on our team. Second question. This is a bit more challenging. So you can ask at some point in your pitch, you can ask the investor, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you going to pitch us to your partners? Like 1 being, oh Lord, let this meeting end, to 10 being, I'm going to email them right away once you're out here. This lets you gauge the temperature of the investor. And also it doesn't provide a lot of wiggle room for them. So they will have to tell you if they're skeptical or if they're already liking what you're telling them. The next one I really like. It is when you tell your partners about this business, how will you pitch it? Serves multiple purposes. You will understand if they've understood your pitch or how they would frame it. Again, you appear high status. By them pitching your business, you will get them further and further on your team. So they're now basically a co-founder in this minute once they answer this question. And you will also gather information about how they think about your business. 4, what are the concerns your partners will voice first about this business? This gives you a lot of insight into how the other partners think, how they generally discuss businesses. And it also makes the investor go a step further. And now he has envisioned himself pitching your business. Now he's defending it to his partners. He's becoming more and more of a co-founder. Next one is, what's our main KPI in your opinion, and where would it need to be for you to call this a great business? You should already know your main KPI, but this is a good test to see how far you're off his benchmark or her benchmark of a great business. Good question to test the waters. And lastly, I would ask something along the lines of, why would this company fit into your portfolio? It is why would it fit, not would it fit, because now they need to come up with a reason why it would be a great addition to their portfolio. Basically, now they're much more on your side as they would have been if you just asked technical questions. Again, what do these questions accomplish? By asking challenging questions, you appear high status as someone that should be respected. This is catering to our reptilian brain. This is something that is human nature. You can't turn it off. Nobody can. It's a good thing to do. Second, if you ask those questions right, and if you listen to the answers, you will gather a lot of useful information that show you how the investor thinks, how their internal processes work, and test their temperature. Super important. And third, maybe the most powerful thing about these questions is it gets a skeptical investor on your side. Even if they start out super skeptical, they will move more towards your side during the exchange if you put them in situations like this. If you manage to drag them more to your side, this is a big win, because this is again human nature. It is incredibly hard for our brain to hold two opposing thoughts at once. So your brain will necessarily side with pro or anti. This is called cognitive dissonance. It is very, very powerful. So I encourage you to use all these questions and crush your VC meetings as well. If you're a startup founder raising 1 to 10 million and you want to obliterate your fundraising goals, DM me on Twitter or book a call below. Thanks for watching.